Here at Jordan, we prune our olive trees generally late winter, early spring. The reason we do that is because we have to have trees that are of manageable size for people to pick. Our two biggest tasks that our crew performs are pruning and picking the olives, and all of our olives are picked by hand. We anticipate generally it takes about a minute to prune a grapevine, and in our mature trees it takes upwards of 10 minutes to get in and do the things that we need to do to open up the tree. The reason that we spend so much time per tree as well is because the trees are all individuals. So there will be differences in how many shoots are growing up through the center. There will be difference on how tall the trees are depending on variety and how they were pruned in the past. When we come in to prune the olive trees, we're looking for a few things. One, we're looking to keep a shorter tree. So if there are shoots that have come through and that are very, very tall, we take those down. We cut off, the tall limbs that are sticking up. We also look in the center of the tree, because oftentimes what happens is you'll have branches that will start to form in the center of the tree, and they won't be very fruitful, but also they will shade out the rest of the tree. So we'd like to have what's called an open center to the olive tree. And then thirdly, we look at the bottom of the tree to make sure that the branches are lifted off the ground a bit, so that if we need to do some tractor work, we can get underneath the trees and we don't have to worry about ripping fruit or branches off the trees. The other thing that we look to do is we look to thin the outside of the trees. And by thinning, sometimes the olives, depending on the varietal, can grow in clumps, if you will. There'll be multiple branches coming off of one larger branch, and they can kind of clump up. So what we want to do is we want to try and thin out the outside of that so that there's lots of space, lots of light, and room for the olives to develop and grow. We treat the prunings of the olives much as we treat the prunings of the grapevines. We put them into the row middles, and in the early spring we come through and we mow, and we use a mower that basically shreds the material. So it's not like a lawnmower like we use in our backyards. It is something that's specifically designed to shred wood. So the smaller branches are easily handled with our machine. Some of the bigger branches, and there are times that we need to make these bigger cuts, what we do as we're pruning is we trim off the smaller branches, put them in the middles of the row. The bigger branches we're going to put over to the side, and they will actually use those in the kitchen as firewood for cooking meals later in the summer. When we shred up the parts of the branches, the woody pieces of the branches, what that continues to encourage is more of a fungally dominated soil type, which is beneficial to the orchards. So putting the woody material that we're pruning off back into the middles of the rows, shredding it up and then allowing it to decompose naturally over time, it just increases the beneficial fungi and bacteria that are going to be in the soil naturally, and also of benefit to our trees, helping them get nutrients and so on and so forth.